Okay, this will be the final test for this series of tests. What I've been doing is to lining up all my proposed shirts that I will hopefully use in the course of my recording career on YouTube. Shirts that I like, shirts that I think will be presentable and give a little bit of a flair, because the scenery that I have behind me is really dull. I don't have the ability to create a good background view at this point anyway. That might be something that I can work out in the future, but being disabled, etc., I'd need help in doing these things. And the first thing that I need to do is to get the video right. I've got the audio right, but the video has been a challenge, like the audio was, but I got that solved, and so this is going to be okay. The only drawback of that I still see remaining, if this tests out as being viable, the white balance, etc., that I've talked about, the only drawback that I see has to do with the background. It has to do with the background color being very similar to skin tone. And so there's a tendency for the skin tone of my face blending in with the background, or seeming to blend in. Of course it doesn't blend in, but it's so close that there isn't as much of a distinction as I would like. So for instance, it would be nice if the background was a nice cream color, or if I could have other decorations that would make the background stand out, or different things like that. Basically, it would be better if I had some kind of better distinction between skin color and background color. But it seems to be okay. Other than that, that's not going to be a major detriment. It's just going to be a little less expressive and clear than it could be. And that's one reason why wearing somewhat colorful shirts is going to help. If I wore a shirt that was the same or similar color, the whole thing would blend in, and that would make it kind of dull. I do see some videos coming through YouTube where everything seems to be a sort of a reddish brown, and people seem like they're talking from the dark, and I know from my experience that they're probably not, most likely not, but it's just how the videos are recorded and how the color is adapted through the camera and into the presentation, typically from YouTube. So we're not making a color film cinematography feature film. We're making a digital video that's dependent upon the technology, and it seems like there's a problem, like there is on a lot of things coming through presentation for websites, etc., that people are generally all over the place in terms of the devices that they are using to access these videos or these websites or whatever. So people are accessing this on small cell phones or on tablets or big tablets, or they're accessing it on laptops, or they're accessing it on large screens from their desktop computer, or even as I do most of the time, I'm watching a large YouTube device, Roku device that has a YouTube channel, and so it is very large. So we go from very small screens and they adapt in different ways with different colorations. So, you can't make it so it's going to appear the same on every one of them. So you try to make something that is fairly good compromise. And that's what I think that I've got now. It looks, well, so far, the ones that I've looked at in the test look fairly good on the computer screen, the small computer screen, and then they look pretty good on the smartphone, small screen, and they look pretty good on the large Roku YouTube channel. So that's a good variety of looking good. They don't look perfect, and there's variation there, but I don't think there's a way to win on that one because of the different devices and the different ways that different devices and different channels handle color. Color is the problem. There's so many dimensions to making a colored digital image, especially a colored digital image that moves. A motion picture here is not just running it through film, but there's color, there's white balance, there's color saturation, there's tint, there's hue, there's contrast, there's all sorts of factors here. I'm trying to get it down to, I choose one that is stable and it produces very similar, steady results within a controlled environment, and it allows me to wear different color shirts without having to make any change. That's what I'm seeing happening. I think that it will turn out to be that way, but the reason I'm making individual videos is to make absolutely sure. When I'm absolutely sure, I won't have to do this again. If I'm not absolutely sure after I've viewed this, then it may be back to the drawing board, or it may be that I have different settings for different shirts, or eliminate different shirts altogether. Because, like I said, it's not a problem of white balancing. It's a problem that is introduced by drastic differences in coloration and depth of color in the shirts that I wear. Okay, I'm not talking to anybody here. I'm just going on and on in order to fill in the time frame so I can have a good amount of time to watch this back and compare it to the others. So this is going to be the last test, and we'll go and look at it sometime either right now or tomorrow morning. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning right now, so it may not be wise for me to stay up with needing rest and recuperation and all of that. So this is the end of these tests for now. I did several shirts, probably 7 or 8. I haven't counted them, but it's probably something like that. They're all good shirts. It would be nice that I could use all of them. I don't even know if I'm going to be doing this, but what I'm doing now is to be getting ready. It'll be very nice to be ready and not trying to get ready while I'm trying to make a message, get the technical things done while I have the opportunity, and then that will be out of the way. So I conquered the audio. I thought that I'd never get that done, but things snapped together. This looks like it's going to be that way also. It's not perfect, but it's probably the best that I can do because the imperfection, as I noted, seems to be coming from the background being so similar in coloration to my natural skin color. Can't do much about that. Not that I know of. There might be, but I don't know it, and it's not worth the effort to do that. So I'm going to have to live with that until I get some way to deal with having a better background or some other setting that is able to bring out the foreground from the background better than it is. There is a setting on the camcorder, but I tested it. Didn't seem to make any difference whatsoever. Certainly not that I could see. So I dropped that. All I have is a change of white balance to manual setting at full sunlight for both the camcorder and for the lighting that I have. And then I increased the exposure in the picture adjustment menu, like I've described before. 5 notches to the right, meaning 5 notches greater exposure than is provided by the settings that are given. So those are the only 2 changes, and they seem to be working out well. But, I'm going to have to look at all of these tests. The goal is to have a setting, which I think this one is going to be it. The goal is to have a setting which is good and useful, very useful, acceptable for all instances that I intend to use it for, meaning all the shirts that I have. Okay, this is it.